going to be sharing with you today a watch that admittedly I didn't initially like, but eventually it won me over with kind of its quirks and charm, kind of like what I'm doing with you. You know, I just wear you down until you just gotta love me. So without further ado, let's take a look at the Mark Time Watches Mark 1. It is 12:22 p.m. Let's get down to business. Now we should note these watches apparently are limited to 100 pieces, at least the bronze one is. This is powered by a Japanese 9039 automatic movement, and I believe it's the premium Miyota series, so that's fancy schmancy. Grade A BGW9, we're gonna take a look at that. The one here in front of me is utilizing a bronze case, but we also have a full polished, mirrored polished stainless steel iteration. And then we should also note there is a third variant in stainless steel that has a full brushed finish. All of the variants use a double domed sapphire crystal with AR coating. These have a 100 meter water resistance rating, 42 millimeter diameter, 49.5 millimeter lug to lug, about a 12.5 millimeter case thickness, and a 2-year warranty. So I mentioned that there's 3 variants here, and these actually range from about $480 to $560, the bronze one being the most expensive. And it's interesting because that most expensive option is actually the go-to, in my opinion. That would be the one to pick. The bronze one is kind of the standout. I mentioned a bit ago they sent me 2 of these, so one of them is the bronze one, and one of them is the silver dial with the full mirrored polish, and to be honest, this is actually my least favorite. So it's funny, they sent me my favorite and my least favorite. If you want the stainless steel iteration, I would actually go with that blue dial and the brushed finish. I just think that full mirrored polish on watches kind of makes them look a little cheap. So now's about the time we go into the pros and cons, but we're actually, for the first time ever, gonna do it backwards. We're gonna do the cons first. And then afterward, I'm gonna tell you kind of the pros and why these watches won me over a bit. So the first con would be that these watches are kind of Bauhausy in design. Now I understand it's not like totally minimalist, but these are admittedly somewhat German influenced. We can see here on the case back, it does have a display case back, but it's kind of partitioned halfway, and it says Japanese heart, German love, Philly sarcasm. So, okay, like, I guess this is pseudo Bauhaus? And guys, like, honestly, I know a lot of my followers absolutely love Junghans, Junkers, a lot of these very Bauhausy, minimalist, artsy-fartsy watches, and that's awesome. Maybe you're looking at this and you think it's the coolest thing ever. But I'm reviewing it, and the way I see it, it's not really my cup of tea. The next thing that initially, when I saw the media photos, I was kind of put off, is that like the 11, the 12, and the 1 indexes are different from the rest of them. I've never seen it before, honestly. Like, I've seen alternating indexes, I've seen the 12 o'clock being different, I've seen, you know, 12, 6, 3, and 9 being different, but it's literally 11, 12, 1, totally different, and then the rest all the same. So it just took me a bit to get used to. And then finally, again, when I looked at the media photos, I thought this really kind of stylized M sandwich dial cutout was a bit much. But with the bad comes the good. And like I said, these actually became much more interesting when I got them in my hands. So let's talk about the pros. First pro, the bronze variant. Awesome. Seriously, I wouldn't say it's as good as this Oris Big Crown Pro Pilot bronze that's on my wrist, but this is also like 4 or 5 times the price. So I get it. It's, you know, kind of not a fair comparison, but this is a really nice sub $1,000 bronze cased watch, and it's very interesting. This wears somewhat similarly to this Oris Big Crown Pro Pilot. The next pro would be that the stick handset, although it's very, very Bauhaus German, I like it. I think it actually really does work with this watch. And then another pro is that although I keep saying Bauhaus, pseudo Bauhaus, kind of minimalist adjacent, the truth is This is somewhat simple, but it's not boring. It's fun to look at. The sandwich dial is not something you see every day, and it's interesting how it plays with the light. It gives it some added depth. It's just, I mean, they took a risk here with the different indexes and the cutout and then the stick handset. It's different, but it seems to work. And then the final pro would be the movement, all right? I really like that they chose to use a Miyota, but a premium Miyota. So you're getting the 28,800 VPH sweep, very smooth, very nice to look at. And then also on the movement's rotor, there's a really nice caption and it says, "Old ways don't open new doors." And that's incredibly inspirational. Not cheesy, something everyone needs to hear at least once, and I think more than once. So this is something that you should remind yourself regularly. I always say at the end of my live streams that, you know, you need to get out of your comfort zone, and going live on YouTube wasn't really one of my goals initially when I started this channel, and it was really uncomfortable. I had anxiety about doing it, and then it really paid off. That's like become one of my favorite parts about the channel. By the way, we do live streams every single Saturday, 11:30 a.m. Pacific. I would love to see you there. But yeah, old ways don't open new doors. You gotta keep trying new things and taking them to high levels. So all in all, if you want a somewhat minimalist, maybe Bauhaus adjacent, interesting bronze watch for under $1,000, 560 bucks gets you this Mark Time Mark 1, and yeah, this would be the one to go pick. You know, the blue dial looks very, very nice. Unfortunately, I don't have that one here to look at. However, I do have the silver dial with the full polish, and this is actually my least favorite. I'm not saying this is a bad watch, it's just my least favorite of the bunch. So yeah, they range, you know, high 400s to mid 500s, depending on which one you pick. Let me know what you think though, guys. Please leave me that comment, and do you kind of see what I'm saying with the overall kind of German design going on here? And yeah, how do you feel about it? All right, guys, I will catch you on the next one. Thank you for supporting me in this new installment of Microbrand Monday. I will catch you on the next one. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it.